tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around us. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around us, how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights.
All right, hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning call. Please put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Please put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Okay? 1s in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. All right, thank God. I'm like, what is going on? Diddy is trying to sabotage this stream. Okay? Oh my God, what really happened? Okay, let's get into it, honey. Diddy can't stop us. All right? I actually think there was something possibly wrong with StreamYard, you guys. Okay, so let's get into it. Nicole said, Diddy don't want us to be great, Queen. You already know. Low down, dirty diddler. And Nicole, thank you for your super chat donation, beloved, on that last live. I appreciate you, especially under the consequences and the circumstances. You couldn't even hear a thing, and you still donated to the Queen. So thank you. I appreciate you. That is loyalty, beloveds. Okay, so now let's get into it. Before we get started, let's have a brief word from our sponsor. That Crazy Beach Area said, we got no power at our house, but we are here. Girl, you have no power? Is it storming? What's really going on? Hey, Dickie Leonard. Dickie said, I'm back. I know that's right. Okay, so let's get a word from my sponsor so we can get into it. Lights up, everyone. Please be sure to like and share.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And for you guys, she has a lovely beard oil that the ladies will absolutely love. It'll keep your beard smelling good and looking shiny. And with that all being said, make sure you try her products. Okay, so hello, Marie, DJ Big Six in the house, Mel, Doris is here, that Crazy Beach Aries, Shalvita is in the house, Claudette. All right, let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button. All right. We the people is here. Lawrence, Miss Asha is here. All right. Yaya is in the house. Deals, discounts, and deception. Well, that sounds nefarious. Okay. Gina is here. All right. Nisi, Rubia, Nubia Raw. Okay. JQ is in the house. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all know I love me some loyal royals. Shout out to my moderators for putting in work. I see you above all that drama. Okay, Desmond is working today, and he's still trying to chime in whenever he can. All right, so anyway, let's get into it, honey, because y'all, Diddy is acting like he is so unbothered. He's acting like we're more pressed than he is. Diddy has this energy about himself. You know, he's got that same energy, okay? Going around the jail. Remember I told you guys months ago how they said Diddy was a motivational speaker? Like he's Les Brown going around trying to keep the other inmates high vibrational, even though he's facing a whole life sentence. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Okay, good for him that he's making other people feel good. But it's interesting how he walks into the courtroom. He's nodding and smiling, waving at people, throwing up the heart signs and all of that. And here's the thing. If Diddy does get off, you guys know that I told you that I was going to move to Costa Rica, and I'm definitely going to do so now. Because the other day when I was in court, Diddy threw me a heart sign, you guys. And I said, wait a second here. Now, if Diddy gets off and finds out all this trash that I've been talking about him, how I've been, in fact, going in on him repetitively since November of 2023, and he's sitting up in there thinking, I guess he thinks I'm there to support him because he sees me on a regular basis. You all know that I have a very distinguished look. Okay, you can't miss me with these long locks. But Diddy threw me the heart sign the other day, and me and the lady sitting next to me were like, wait, what? I said, obviously, he's not seen my videos, honey. Okay, so I might have consequences and repercussions if he ever finds out the truth of the matter. Okay, so I'm on the edge of my seat hoping that Diddy gets the guilty verdict, which I absolutely believe that he will. Oh, hell no. Nicole said he's recruiting you for the updated freak offs in 2026. I absolutely cannot. Above all that drama, said he knows you, Queen. Quick to the bugs, Chopper. Miss Asha said he knows your hood energy, Queen. Not hood energy. You all are something else. Okay, but anyway, all jokes aside, Diddy comes in there, and like I told you guys, he waves and speaks and all of that, but he's very attentive to his attorney, specifically Teeny Garagos. Okay, he gives them a hug, fist pumps, and all of that. But with Teeny, he actually pulls out her chair for her. And in fact, in court just the other day, he actually stood up. This is when court was already in progress. Now, at the beginning, when everybody comes in, he'll usually pull out Teeny's seat or whatever, and then he'll have a seat. But the other day, I noticed that after Teeny finished her cross-examination, she walked over to her chair, and Diddy stood up and pulled it out for her and made sure to push her back up to the table and all of that. I think that Diddy probably has a very close relationship with Teeny. I think that Mel said Diddy is such a fraud, okay? I think that he has a very close relationship with Teeny. He possibly knew her since she was a child. Now, the reason I say that is because her father, Mark Garagos, says that Diddy is his friend. He said he's not going to discount Diddy or, denounce him because of all that he's going through. He said that he's not going to be like other people. He's still going to claim Diddy because that's his friend. And that he was previously Diddy's attorney. And he's known Diddy for years. So I'm thinking that, he likely knew Teeny when she was a child. Okay. And so maybe that's why he has such a good rapport with her and is so attentive to her, pulling out her seat and all of that or whatever. But with that all being said, Claudette said charming personality and then puts laughing emojis. Well, Diddy has always come off, until we found out who the real him was. Diddy has always come off as being someone who is charming. Not that he actually is, but he puts on that facade as though he's charming, charismatic, and very attentive to others and all of that. But we've seen the dark side of Diddy. And that side of him is why he's sitting where he's sitting right now. But the question is, will Diddy keep that same energy when that guilty verdict comes in? Because, believe me, it's coming in. You see, the prosecution has done a fine job of laying out the evidence and the facts and the receipts. Okay, they've had some people that gave very compelling testimony. Now, some of the people, their testimony may have been a little sketchy. Maybe we weren't buying everything they were selling, but nonetheless, they have had some that have given very compelling testimony, in my opinion. Mel said just fake and phony. I have to agree with that. Okay, Panther Strike says the life of a narcissist. I have to agree with that as well. In my opinion, I'm no psychologist, but Diddy, absolutely, in my opinion, is a narcissist and a sociopath. Okay? One who is capable of putting up a facade and fooling people I remember how when all of this first started to happen, when Cassie came out with that lawsuit, and then it was followed by a barrage of other lawsuits with people alleging similar things to Cassie. And then Diddy came out and said it's all lies and BS. This is nothing but a cash grab. They're after my money. You all remember that? And then that video came out. And some of the people who had been caping for Diddy, some of the people who have been saying, oh, y'all just trying to bring down another black man. Diddy didn't do it. But when that video came out and people saw how angry and vicious that Diddy really could get, well, some people, that drew the line for them and that changed their minds. Because now that we see you can be so violent in a public place, now, even though there were not other people there, but of course, everyone knows that hotels have cameras. And the amount of rage that was exhibited in that short video, that let us know that if he's willing to do that and behave that way in a public setting, what does he do in private when no one is around to see? It would have to be markedly worse as far as I'm concerned. But also, let's not forget how he attacked Cassie at Prince's house. Now, can you imagine being at the artist formerly known as his house with all of the A-listers there, all of the people in their fancy gowns and tuxes, okay, all of this fanciness going on, and you're sitting there attacking somebody like a crazed maniac? See, that's how you know that Diddy's a whole sociopath, because a person who's logical thinking, a person who has a rational mind, they would never even think of such. And even if they were angry, even if no matter how furious they are, they would have at least had the decency to say, you know what? When I get out of here, I'm going to tell you a thing or two. Or when I get out of here, I'm going to go upside your darn head. Not to actually do it right then and there, to the point that Prince's bodyguards had to subdue him. And then they told him to get the hell out. Because how dare you? Okay? How dare you? So just all crazy. Yes, Mel, it was a pure disgrace. I mean, the embarrassment of it all for Cassie. Can you imagine? I would have been beyond embarrassed. So, at the end of the day, as I said, Diddy is just being high energy and all of this. And what's interesting is, the court artist, the lady that's drawing the sketches, her name, by the way, is Christine Cornell. Now, she's been drawing Diddy since the trial began in mid-May. And she says it's like he seems to think that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay? Federal prosecutors are on track to rest their direct case after calling their final witnesses Friday and Monday. And we know that it's going to be Brendan Paul, the alleged rug mule, and then also two summary witnesses. Now, the defense case will begin as early starting testimony. A pair of executives from Combs' Global, the hip-hop entrepreneurs music and lifestyle empire. Now, the defense also has a forensic psychiatrist on tap to testify as an expert witness. Now, they've not said if they will call Diddy to the stand. But here's the thing. If Diddy's smart, he better not take that stand, because they will eat him alive during cross-examination. Now, when they're calling this forensic psychiatrist, here's what I'm wondering. What is this forensic psychiatrist going to attest to? Are they going to talk about the lifestyle of a narcissist? The or the reasons or things that cause one to act in such a depraved manner? Someone who has so much hostility and violence, are they explanation? That's absolutely what I think they're going to do. I think the forensic psychiatrist is being brought in as an expert witness to come in and to try just behavior. Are they going to say that Diddy was abused as a child, that he suffered from childhood trauma, that something nefarious in fact happened to him at that all-boys Catholic school that he went to? Does Diddy suffer from psychological trauma that has turned him into the devil that he now is? Did it have something to do with and who was murdered in the streets for snitching? Will it be anything said about the fact that his mother allegedly threw wild parties and escapades when he was a kid? And he and his friend walked in and saw some things that no child should ever dare to see. Now, that is what Diddy's childhood friend said in one of those documentaries. Will they bring up all of these things to give a reason, an explanation for Diddy's vile behaviors? Well, I absolutely think that they will. They're going to try to paint Diddy as a man who has suffered through different circumstances in his life that has brought him to become this vicious person that he is. And they'll also, in my opinion, talk about the use of the illegal substances and say that due to the length of time that he's used these substances for over a decade, it has begun to affect his mind and his psyche. And this is why he is so prone to lashing out and acting like a whole demon. Is that what they're going to tell us? Because that's what I'm expecting. But I say this to you, don't fall for it. Okay, don't fall for any of it. Because even though some things may have happened to Diddy in his lifetime, Diddy has made conscious decisions to be evil, okay, and devilish, in my opinion. At the end of the day, let's go back to his college days when they say that he beat his girlfriend with a belt. I remember that. The Rolling Stones, where about 50 people came forward and told stories of Diddy that dated back decades and how wicked and nefarious he's always been. Let us also not forget the fact that he was given the name Puff Daddy, because when he was just a kid, he would huff and puff like the big bad wolf. And that's exactly who he turned out to be as an adult. He turned out to be, in fact, the big bad wolf. One who, if he does what he wants and things don't go his way, that whoever is on the opposing side of him is going to get consequences and repercussions. I expect that the forensic psychiatrist is going to have a whole lot to say and to justify Diddy's behavior. They're going to try to paint him as a victim who went through lots of things and thus he had no choice but to lash out in anger because of all the things that he's held inside him for so long. He had nobody to talk to. All of the illegal substances have really changed him. And those are the times when he was most violent, let's say, is when he was on the rugs. Well, to that I say this. He should have just said no. Okay? He should have just said no. And listen, guys, I have something that I want you all to see, because there is Diddy is a victim. Well, in some people's eyes, I'm sure he may be. Deronda said Sugar Smacks had that little D energy. You know what I think Diddy's problem is? I think that Diddy's problem, and this is just my opinion, that Diddy has never been comfortable in his truth. Diddy has always felt the need to keep up a facade and to be and deal with women when secretly he yearned for men. I think that's why he wanted those freak offs. I think that he was fulfilling his own nefarious fantasies through the use of women, because really he didn't care to see those women. He wanted to see those men. And when he had Cassie and Jane Doe talking to him in explicit tones about what they want to do and what they wanted to have done, those were his own words being spoken by those women. He's the one who wanted the big black D's. He's the one that wanted to get down on. Now, this is just my opinion. But I think that when you can't live in your truth and you have to hide who you are from the world, and you have to keep all of that secrecy bottled up inside, and sometimes a little bit of it out, especially when you've had a little bit too much to drink, and you start telling men, grown men, hey, you never partied with me. I'm talking about really partied. And you start calling grown men daddy. Hey, why you never hung out with me? And then you start offering to take grown men shopping for 50 cents. You start doing those things because, remember, a drunk mind or a drunk mind or a sober, how do they say it? A drunk mind speaks a sober tongue. There you go. Right? So when Diddy would get drunk, he would say these things and then act like he didn't remember saying it days later. Remember how Charlamagne the Devil asked him about what he said about 50 Cent or what he said about Fabulous when he was on that show, Drink Champs? And he just shook his head and looked perplexed if he didn't remember what he said or why. That's right, Claudette said, drunk mind, sober thoughts. Exactly. So I just think that really the fact that he had to hide himself is what made him hostile and violent. I find from research is that men who are on the down low, men who have to hide who they really are, tend to have a lot of anger towards women. They, in fact, seem to resent women. They're angry in general, but usually women are the ones that they lash out at. They usually are those men who put hands on women. And I think Diddy is just one of those people. That's just my opinion. That is just my opinion. Now, with that all being said, Diddy is fighting this trafficking and racketeering trial, these charges, and these potentially carry a life sentence. But he's often appeared animated throughout nearly the 6 weeks of testimony, with 32 prosecution witnesses coming to testify. Now, the U.S. District Judge Arwen Subramanian has at least twice warned Diddy to rein himself in when the jury is present, including a specific directive against nodding vigorously when he hears testimony he apparently likes. Now, just in my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him nodding when he likes the testimony. That's just my opinion. He shouldn't be nodding a jury, mind you. Zanata says a drunk mind is a sober tongue. All right. Yes, absolutely, beloved. So, with that all being said, Diddy seems to have this same energy that he's always had. I mean, he doesn't seem downtrodden, doesn't seem to be worried, doesn't seem to be really so concerned. But he also doesn't seem like he has any remorse. Now, that's just my opinion. But as the prosecution wraps and his own case nears to start, Diddy appears to be extra amped up. Now, during testimony this week, he was jotting down his ideas on a flurry of Post-it notes, handing them out among the 8 attorneys seated. Okay, a team led by none other than Manhattan attorney Mark Agnifico. And often you'll see Diddy lean in, for whispered exchanges with his attorneys sitting at the table. I wonder what he's telling them. He was passing a whole lot of notes, they say, when Don Richard was on the stand. Now, lately, he's been tapping his leg a lot, they say, and he takes copious notes. The court reporter, not the court reporter, but the court artist says, I've never seen a defendant take so many notes. She's been sketching for 50 years, by the way. And she said she's never seen a defendant take so many. Let's take a lot of notes. I noticed that too. He continues to push the boundaries of how animated he can be in front of the jurors. Now, on Tuesday, Attorney Tini Garagos cross-examined one of 3 U.S. Attorney's Office witnesses who testified for the government. As Garagos returned to her seat, Diddy half stood in his chair. He showily pulled out Garagos' chair, pushing it back toward the table for her to take a seat. Then they were soon deep in whispered conversation. Now, the court artist says that he's done that a couple of times, but she says this week he leapt out of his way. Well, he absolutely did, because I really noticed that. Because I was thinking, aren't you supposed to be sitting down, sir, when the judge is on the bench? I thought they were going to make a big deal about it, but they didn't say anything. Combs is especially lively when the jurors are not in the courtroom, waving your honor, he says. This was what he answered on Friday. And he waved his right hand over his head. Now, that's when they were talking about juror number 6. When they had that whole discrepancy about juror number 10, that the man lied or whatever, but Diddy waived his right to challenge a juror who had been given inconsistent, or who had to have given inconsistent answers about whether he lived in the Bronx. So, of course, we know now that juror was, in fact, excused from the jury on Monday, or lawyers who argued against booting a black juror and placing him with a white alternate juror. Now, one of the few instances when Diddy appeared aggrieved in court came minutes after losing that battle. Yeah, that's the only time, one of the few times that you saw Diddy look a little disappointed or whatever. They said that juror was going to be just booted. He didn't look so happy about that. After the jury departed for the day, Diddy shook his head no and seemed to say it's bad to his mother, who was sitting 3 rows behind him. Otherwise, at any chance he gets when the judge is not on the bench, Diddy turns to his mother, mouthing the words, I love you, blowing her kisses and making heart shapes with his hands. Go eat. That's what he told her one day. I read his lips. Now, prosecutors have worked since May the 12th to convince the 8 men and 4 women on the jury that between 2009 and last year, he trafficked 2 girlfriends. That's R&B singer Cassie Ventura and a woman who testified under the pseudonym of Jane Doe. Both described being beaten by Diddy. Now, the indictment alleges that Diddy forced Ventura and Jane to cross state lines to engage in sex with male escorts he watched, masturbated with an M, and made recordings. These days-long rug-fueled sexual performances took place almost weekly at luxury hotels in Los Angeles and Miami, and they were called freak-offs, and wild king nights, all according to the indictment. Be strong. This is what he mouthed to his sons behind him, pounding his chest with his fist during a break in Jane Doe's testimony. Also charged with racketeering and that he ran his empire as a criminal enterprise, using his staff and cash in furtherance of crimes, not only trafficking, but also bribery, kidnapping, forced labor, narcotics distribution, and arson. Now, here's the thing. For those of you who think that the Fed has not thoroughly proven their case, well, he has the things that were just mentioned. He has had testimony to substantiate these. Okay, the kidnapping. Let's talk about Capricorn Clark. Claims she was kidnapped. Forced labor. Dawn Richard says that she was not paid or she was not allowed to eat sometimes. Okay, that she had to work for hours, was not allowed to sleep deprivation. Capricorn said that she wasn't paid her wages for overtime pay, $80,000, and that when they gave Diddy the paperwork for it, he ripped it up in her face. The narcotics distribution, didn't Jane Doe in fact say that she was illegal substances given to her by Christina Courtroom out of town for Diddy? The bribery that they're talking about, the hotel security guard said that he was given $100,000. Now, the arson, to me, they can prove, because in my opinion, we probably know that he's the one who had Kid Cudi's car blown up, but we can't prove it. Anthony says she was never kidnapped. Why was the police never called? There is no record of a kidnap. Well, beloved, the police were never called for the same reason many other people claim Diddy committed crimes against them and police were never called. These people were afraid. Overthought said that's bribery and witness tampering. Okay? Anthony says all the rugs was for person use. Diddy never charged anyone with rugs. Well, here's the thing. That's not true according to his assistants, beloved. You know, 2 of his assistants said that they were going to purchase these rugs for him, but one of them said that they bought an 8-ball for Nelly. Do y'all remember that? They literally said they bought an 8-ball for Nelly. Okay? So with that being said, Diddy wasn't always just using those rugs for himself. He was offering them to the S workers. He was giving them to the women, plying them with it, according to the charges and allegations. Now, even if it was for personal use, that doesn't negate the fact that he had illegal substances taken across state lines and he had other people to do it. Brendan Paul was the one who carried the black backpack, okay, and the fanny pack with Diddy's illegal substances in it. Jane Doe said that she carried some. Those that Jane Doe, in fact, went to pick up from Christina Courtroom, were those just for personal use? Let's not forget all of the different types of pills and rugs that they say that Diddy had, from Tucci to Coca-Cola to MDMA, isn't that what you call it? From Molly to ecstasy, Percocets. All of this is a whole lot of rugs, okay? And whether or not it was for personal use, it was being transported from state to state, and sometimes out of the country even. Okay? So I'm sorry, but they've done a pretty good job, in my opinion, of proving their case. With that all been said, Diddy has pleaded not guilty and is putting on an energetic defense. His lawyer's cross-examination Their cross-examinations of Ventura and Jane focused on their long text and email histories with Diddy, in which at times they showed enthusiasm for the freak-offs and resentment over his public affairs with rival girlfriends. Now, the testimony will continue this Friday. We'll be in court from 9 to 1. Mind you, the prosecutors expect to call their fifth former Combs personal assistant to the stand, and that will be none other than Brendan Paul. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, I want to show you all something, because this is a video. This is a video that was of an interview that Cassie did with the media. This was basically about 5 days after she was beaten to a pulp at the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016. 5 days after, and Cassie's doing an interview. And I just want you all to see this, because 5 days later, after that whole debacle, when everyone fought to try and cover it up, to get rid of all the evidence. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
And I'm constantly furrowing my brows. So when some of my friends mentioned they got treated with Botox Cosmetic and were happy with the results, I booked my first consultation. Botox Cosmetic is
Sure, our next guest. Thank goodness, no relation to Jesse the Body Ventura, which apparently the asked to call The Perfect Match. It comes out tomorrow, and she's terrific at it.
He won't commit. He won't commit, and he goes through a lot of women and makes that very clear in the beginning of the movie. And Eva my character overhears a bet that he has with his friends to see if he can stay faithful to one girl until his friend's wedding. She overhears it and takes advantage of the opportunity to have a casual relationship, which is kind of unheard of for a girl in a movie. So,
what does she do that gets under his skin?
I can't say. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta see it tomorrow.
And a great cast, by the way.
Terrence J,
right.
Paula Patton, Lauren London, Donald Faison, Rob Riley, and Dasha Blanco. If I didn't forget anybody.
Paula Patton, that's
yes.
Who's
Robin Sex.
Yeah, we've seen a lot. She's terrific. Well, congratulations.
Should we see? Do we have a clip of the movie?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's watch.
Not sure that you're my type, Charlie. But I like that about you.
I'm not sure you're my type.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your type?
Fun, no expectations.
So no strings, right?
No strings.
Well, you might be right. Maybe I'm not your type. But I want to try something new, something different. But I can't be in a relationship right now.
So what are you saying?
So I'm saying keep your phone handy.
I think I'm supposed to frown upon this, but
I'm not. I think it's time that somebody's turned the tables on the guys. I think it's great. Go, Cassie.
You're playing a head game on them, though, right?
You know what? I think that he wants Eva thinks that she wants a casual relationship and that he wants the same thing, so that maybe they would work out, or that would work out.
Let me ask you, movie you have, I guess, some very intimate scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm wondering about boyfriend, Diddy, whether he came to the set to make sure everything was copacetic with you.
No, he actually really trusted the situation. Him and Terrence spoke beforehand because Terrence.
Wait. You date P. Diddy?
Oh, wow.
I did not know this. Yeah. Hold the phone.
You know, I typically don't talk about my private life.
Well, forgive me. They put it on the television.
They put it on the television.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't go, like, really, it's your business.
I'll let that one go.
So, all right.
But wait, she was telling the story that.
So Terrence was a bit nervous, and I told Puff about it, and he said, have him give me a call. So we FaceTimed, and they had their man talk, and he said, make it believable. You guys, this is like going to be a great movie for you, and he's proud of us at the end of the day. It's work.
The actor talked to Puff.
Yes.
So I didn't know you call him Puff.
Yeah, Puff, Sean.
Yeah.
I think everybody has their different names.
Well, he seems like a good guy. I met him once when he was selling Ciroc vodka.
Yes.
He brought a big jug
He's
of
a
it.
big mogul. By the way, Cassie comes from our area, Connecticut.
I'm from
Do you still have family there?
I do, in New London, Connecticut.
Oh, that's nice. You getting a chance to see them while you're here?
Yeah, they came. We had a screening last night, and they came to it. It was really nice to be with them.
That's nice. All right, you can catch Cassie, The Perfect Match, tomorrow in theaters everywhere.
Yes.
So nice to meet you in
Nice
person.
to meet you as well. Thank you so much.
Say a little puff for us.
Yeah,
I will.
text him and we said hi. Can we FaceTime him? What the heck?
Let's do it later. Yes.
Yeah, all right, cool.
He's in California.
I always wanted to hang with them.
All right, there is a new restaurant in Bushwick getting a lot of buzz for.
Okay, so you all heard that. That man sounded like he was fanning all the way out, talking about let's FaceTime him later. And then he's sitting there pretending that he didn't know that Cassie was dating Diddy. Sit down somewhere. You know he knew that before she even came on the show. Okay, but I want you all to see how Cassie was being so jovial and, just acting like everything was all fine. And this was only days after Diddy beat the crap out of her at that hotel, right before her movie premiere, okay, leaving her with bruises, a busted lip, okay, and all of that. These are the things that she had to put up with and had to walk around like everything was perfectly fine. Claudette said she was high. She may have been. They were doing a lot of illegal substances at that point. A lot of illegal substances. Nicole said most of these ladies were already escorts. Some of them likely were. Some of them likely were. Now, with that all being said, hold on. Let's go to this. Is this what I'm looking for right here? Hold on, you guys. I want to show you all this video of Diddy. You can literally see the anger, and Diddy was trying so hard to contain himself. Okay? He was trying so hard to contain himself. Hold on, let me see if this is the one I'm looking for right here. Hold on. Hold on, that's the wrong one. Hold on, beloveds. And I have actually shown you all this before. Yeah, here it is right here. Okay, I want you all to take a look at Diddy's face. You can see the anger and the rage. And I don't know why he was so angry, but it was boiling up. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Now, this is an interview he did with Kalina Harper and Don Richard from Diddy Dirty Money. And why was Diddy so upset? I think that possibly it may have been because they were giving the women so much attention in this interview and not really focusing or asking Diddy a lot of questions. And he just seemed like he had a whole attitude. Okay. He just seemed like he had a whole attitude. Let me put an overlay over this. I may have already gotten a copyright claim because of Cassie's music, but we'll see. Now I want you all to pay attention to Diddy's demeanor.
It's progressed over years, it's evolved over years. How much have you evolved, and how much of this evolution is Dirty Money?
I think that's what the whole album and the whole concept of the group is about. It's about evolution. And even when you even like the sound of our album, to be honest, our album doesn't sound like what's played on the radio right now. But it's something that's refreshing and innovative. And I think that's the thing that I've evolved to be able to take chances and to take risks and to not just be complacent or just try to fit in to the box of what's going on, to really try to bring that level of like what we listen to music for, like, what's that? Right. Like if you listen to radio now, you can't tell the difference of like, what's that? It all kind of sounds the same. And I think that we talk about that a lot, and I don't want it to come across like we have a problem with that. It's just honestly the best way we can describe how we're different. You know what I'm saying? We're unique as far as we're an evolution of the sounds, which is hip hop, which is soul, which is pop, which is dance music. And it's all fused into one, which makes Dirty Money.
A lot more emphasis on the electronic side as well.
Yeah, electronic and hip hop. I just think it's the electronic details that without losing its hip hop base. And I think that nowadays it's kind of hard. You've seen so many artists that have crossed over from hip hop to dance because that's what's hot now, instead of being true to themselves on who they are.
And talking about being shrewd, you were very shrewd in the late 90s, you were one of the first people who realized that the music industry as a whole was evolving. It was going to focus, and it was important to build a business around it. So how much of that business is part of your music, and how much of your music is part of that business now?
I think that, you know, I was able to kind of see that coming, so I was able to diversify myself and understand the importance of being 360, which is totally complete, from merchandising to touring to publishing to film to television. So because of the success of that, it has almost afforded me the advantage to be more artistic and not just rely on just one dimension, and also the strength, having a strength and being extremely strong online wise means I could get to, you know, millions of people without having to worry about, you know, just radio spins or video spins. But the beauty of it is when it all comes together, and to have the support of MTV, the support of all the radio stations around the world still playing and respecting my music is something that I don't take for granted, because there's a lot of people who I started out with, and you know, just to be honest, they're not getting their records played right now for whatever reason. And I take pride on, you know, being able to still make things that are relevant and urgent. And so it's really just a blessing. When I hear my record on the radio, I get almost more excited than when I heard it the first time. So, you know, I'm having a ball.
And what about your last question? What can UK fans expect to see in Glasgow tonight?
I mean, an experience. We're gonna perform a couple of new songs. You know what I mean? We're gonna do some old songs, some old bad boy songs. Gonna help Diddy with, of course, a little medley or something. I mean, we're gonna.
Now, I want you all to look at Diddy's demeanor. Why is he looking so angry? They just asked him questions first, and now, as soon as Kalina starts talking, look at his face. And look how he's shaking his knee. I'm not trying to be funny, but he looks very angry, like he's trying to hold it in from going off. Also, I noticed that he's been shaking his leg in court for the past couple of days. Hold on. And then you're probably, Sheila said his face. He looks very angry. Okay, he looks very angry. Hold on. Let's go back.
I'll have fun tonight.
Look at his body language.
Show up. I hope people ready to sweat, because we might go over our time. We might just have a good time out there tonight.
Yeah. And Dawn, you're a artist in your own right. How important is it for you to be part of the group?
I mean, well, I was part of a group before, you know, so it was. But this is a whole different level of awesomeness right here. But you know what? It feels good. I like Huff said, it feels good to work with a team. I'm better with a team, and these people make me better. And I just feel like my lighting looks better when I have two people next to me. Things just look a little bit better. I have people that have support with me, so it feels good. And to be here and have y'all see how great we really are and what we could be. We sharing it with y'all first, so y'all get the raw and uncut, new dirty money. I mean, how great is that?
Mm-hmm. Now, Diddy.
Now, my question is, why was Diddy so mad? He seemed totally annoyed that they took the conversation over to the ladies and started talking to them. I wonder why he was so angry. He looked like he was furious. And he also looked a bit bored and like he was disinterested in what the two of them had to say. Did you all get that too? Did you all get that too? Now, mind you, as I said, Diddy has been tapping his legs just like that in court, which leads me to think that he is a bit more bothered than he seems to be putting on. Now, how do I know he's tapping his legs? Because I can't see under the table. Well, I'm so glad you asked, because that's what the court reporter said. The sketch artist said that he was tapping his leg lately. And so I've been paying attention to what they're saying about his body language, from what I can see and from what I can't see. That's being reported. And I find that interesting, because to me, when he's tapping his leg like we just witnessed right there, it looks like he's a little upset, not happy, and just quite frankly, discontent. Okay, do y'all think that Diddy really? Nicole said Ike Turner was creeping out, okay? Panther Strike said, yes, Queen, for a well-established man, he's quite insecure. I absolutely think so. Okay, 2025 year of accountability says Diddy should have stayed out of the group. He always jumping in something. That's true. Diddy wanted to be the life of the party. He wanted all eyes to be on him. Okay? He wanted all eyes to be on him. At the end of the day, Diddy always wanted to steal the show. Now, that's just how I feel about it. But, you know, here's the thing. The trial is coming to a close. We've only got 3 more people that are going to testify for the prosecution. They're going to rest likely on Monday because Friday's a half day. Then we're going to have the defense come, and they only have 3 witnesses. How is this going to turn out? They have 2 people that work for Diddy and a forensic psychologist. This is going to be interesting. Darius said he's a big spoiled child. I absolutely agree. Throwing temper tantrums and all of that. And like I told you guys before, remember when Diddy said in an interview that he was going to probably get arrested for his parties one time? That was back in 1999. And now he's sitting in jail, and partially it's because of those damn parties. Okay? A large portion of it. A large portion of it. Hold on. Let's go to that interview. Let's go to that really quick. We've seen it before. Judge Wood said, shaking my effing head. All the black bloggers and media are helping the government change the RICO directly in front of our eyes. Rug dealers get immunity for rug user. Rug dealer gets immunity for rug user. Well, here's the thing, beloved. And thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel, beloved. By the way, peace, love, and blessings. Listen, I have to agree with some of what you're saying. Now, I won't say that the black bloggers are helping the media. We don't have anything to do with it. We're just reporting what comes out, beloved. But according to their case and based on the law, they have absolutely turned this into a RICO. They have gone and found the charges that they can use to try and prove their case. Now, there's nothing that I or any other blogger can do about this. And at the end of the day, doesn't Diddy deserve some sort of consequences for the nefarious things that we know that he's in fact done? I'm not saying that he did every single thing that he's been accused of. In fact, I do believe that possibly he's been overcharged. But in these sorts of cases, sometimes they will in fact overcharge the defendant so that some of the charges will at least stick and there will be enough evidence to at least find them guilty of something. With that all being said, 2025 year of accountability says judge is correct. Well, you know, that's your opinion and you're absolutely entitled to it, beloved. But at the end of the day, listen, don't blame black bloggers. Blame Diddy. You see, the bottom line is no matter what we say or how we say it, Diddy has brought this on himself. You see, Diddy played into the hands of the wealthy elite who had power over him, and they made him an overseer on the plantation of those in the music industry that were underneath him who were trying to scratch and claw their way to the top. He promised them the same hopes and dreams that the people promised him. You cannot now blame people who look like him, myself included, because we are calling Diddy out on his BS. Do you all not remember Tupac and Biggie? Do you not think that Diddy may have had a hand in their demises? Do you not feel sympathy and empathy for all of the black people who were in groups or singers or rappers who Diddy signed and they went broke? Do you not find it interesting or suspicious, to say the very least, that so many people that were around Diddy in his circle are now deceased? You don't have any empathy and sympathy for Kim Porter, the mother of his own children who met her end in a very suspicious way? How they claim and allege that Diddy broke her nose and had to call in a plastic surgeon to fix it? Let's talk about black people, because when you talk about Diddy and black people coming against him, you seem to forget, some of you, that many of his victims, the people that he took money, stole their publishing, intimidated, threatened, hit upside the head with champagne bottles. You seem to forget that many of those people too were black. So if you want to play the black card and say, oh, woe is the black man, and look at what the government is doing to him, and you black bloggers are complicit in helping to bring him to his end, why aren't you saying the same damn thing about the black people that Diddy did the dirt to? That's what I'd like to know. Because if you want to say that you have empathy and sympathy for Diddy because he is black, well, then why don't you have that same empathy and sympathy for the people that were his victims, that are also black, by the way? Let's talk about it. Dawn Richard, Capricorn Clark. What are y'all talking about? Specifically Biggie and Tupac, because they literally lost their lives. The man who's facing trial right now for being involved in the murder of Tupac implicated Diddy. So I just find it interesting when black people want to sit here and say that you black people are trying to bring a black man down, but none of you dare to say anything about how Diddy brought many black people down. Why in the hell is 112, a group that he signed, broke? What the hell ever happened to 8 Ball and MJG after they were signed to Bad Boy South? Whatever happened to Loon? Look at the money Mace says was stolen from him. Wasn't it about $3 million that he was owed? What about Shine doing 10 years in the Slammer when he and Diddy both went in there and shot up the club? I have questions. What about Nathaniel Rubin, who was the woman shot in the face? Are y'all forgetting these other black people? I just don't understand how you can cape for Diddy and just act like you don't give a damn about the other people who were his victims and act as though we're not supposed to say anything against him. We're not supposed to call him out on his BS simply because he's black. Diddy did all of this to himself. And after he got in bed with the elite and those in power and in control, he turned on them when he sued Diageo. And that's what you can't do. You see, when you lie down with dogs, you wake up with fleas. And that's what Diddy did. He laid down with the dogs. And then when they did something he didn't like, he turned on them and wanted to sue. Okay? And you see where that got him. But he gave them all of the ammunition they needed to take him down. He did that. No one told him to do freak offs and to hire S workers and to make these women go and fill them with copious amounts of illegal substances and have them doing freak offs for hours. And even if they were the biggest freaks, nymphos, or whatever, do you really think that any woman wants to have sex for 12 to 30 hours? Who wants to do that? Who wants to have constant UTIs, swords in their mouths? Who asked for that? I want y'all to tell me who. Judge Wood said, damn, this is not about Diddy. This is about the law being changed to lower the RICO Act to affect more black people. Well, listen, I agree with you on that. But when somebody says the black bloggers are helping, I'm not helping them do anything. I'm just reporting the news as it is put out there and giving you the best, my most honest opinion on it. Okay, I've said myself that the Mann Act is absolutely rooted in racism from when it was brought forth in 1910 for Jack Johnson, the black boxer who was dating white women. They used that to take him down. They used it on Chuck Berry. Yes, it is rooted in racism. But that does not negate the fact that Diddy has engaged in nefarious things and done many, many depraved things to other people. And now he is getting his karma. So don't blame us. Blame it on the universe. You see, because there's an old saying that goes a little something like this. What goes around comes back around. And that's what that does. Okay, that's what that does, Judge Beloved. And thank you for your insight into the topic. I appreciate your opinion, even when it's contrary. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. I welcome contrary views and opinions. I'm not going to get mad and ban anybody because you have a contrary opinion. Everyone's entitled to it. In fact, I love when people have contrary opinions. That's when we can have dialogue. If everybody thought and felt the same way, that would actually be boring. But thank you, beloved, and thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Locked Vegan says, I've loathed him since Biggie and Tupac, not paying his artists and holding their masters. Unforgivable, lock him up. Yes, I absolutely agree. I have never liked Diddy ever since the murder of Tupac. I have always felt from day one that he had a hand in it, and I still feel that way. And I feel that even if Diddy is going to prison for some things that he didn't do, there are a myriad of things that he did do that he never even got charged for. And I believe the murder of Tupac is one. Now, with that all been said, Locked Vegan, thank you for your insight to the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Let's go to this video of Diddy back in the day talking about going to jail for his parties. Let me put an overlay on this because it's somebody else's video.
From Entertainment Tonight from back in 1999 with P. Diddy, Sean Combs, where he basically predicts his arrest 25 years before the actual arrest happens. What do you guys think? Do you think Diddy had positive intentions with these parties? Or did you think he had a guilty conscience and he knew what was going to happen? Leave us some comments.
Parties are the hottest ticket around.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't going to stop. We're going to keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You're going to hear about my party. They're going to be shutting them down. They're going to probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we want to have a good time. You know, whenever you bring up a different element into people's environment, things that broaden people's horizon, people get intimidated. There's a lot of people out there that feel intimidated by it. It ain't nothing but
All right, y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. Diddy said they're going to be shutting him down. He's probably going to be getting arrested, and there he sits. You know, I want you all to pay attention because what Diddy, in fact, did, in my opinion, is Diddy manifested some of this stuff upon himself. Words have power. You have to be careful what you say, especially when you're out here doing nefarious things. The universe hears what you're saying and brings you exactly what you asked for. Okay? And also, when you do things, whether it's good or bad, these things will come back to you at some point in time. That is just the laws of the universe. Okay, so whether all Black bloggers are going in about Diddy or whether no Black bloggers are going in about Diddy, the fact of the matter is Diddy is sitting where he's sitting right now due to his own nefariousness. He's allowed them to bring these charges against him because he engaged in certain actions. You see, here's the thing I want you all to think about. When Diddy was doing his dirt, because he was doing plenty of it, mind you, do you all think Diddy was giving a damn about Black folk? What about the college incident, OG Patrice says? Thank you. City College in the 1990s, when 9 people died because they were crushed. That was all because of Diddy's greed. You all do know that, don't you? If you missed a very thorough video I did about that, please go back and watch. I showed actual footage and screenshots. But the bottom line is that was all due to Diddy's greed. He oversold those tickets. And because of that, people lost their lives. And he never got any real consequences for that. Okay, you would have thought that he would have changed his ways after something so tragic happened, brought on by his own actions. But did he change? No. He continued to be arrogant. Okay, he continued to be greedy. And he continued to love money. And isn't the love of money the root of all evil? Why do you think Diddy was taking those people's publishings, cheating them out of their profits, not paying people after they'd worked hard and long hours? Diddy ruled his enterprise with an iron fist. People were intimidated because they wanted and needed their jobs. They were afraid of getting fired, and they were afraid of the consequences of daring to go against Diddy. Hinchman says, you're not God, you can't punish him. Honey, you sound idiotic. Who said I was God and that I'm punishing him, fool? The government's punishing him, and they're not God either, but they're still going to punish him. Gets that sentence. What are you talking about? This is about the RICO case. You're not God. You can't judge him. We all fall short of sin. Honey, I've quoted that same quote 1,000 times. We all fall short of the glory of God. Honey, you're preaching to the choir. Who said that I was going to punish Diddy? You see, that's how I know that you're obtuse. I never said anything about punishing Diddy because I can't punish him, and I have sense enough to know that, so I don't need you or anyone else to tell me. And yes, this is about a RICO, and Diddy has created one for himself. He had a whole criminal enterprise. He's engaged in predicate acts, more than 2, in the last 10 years. So don't get mad at me because he's sitting where he's sitting. And again, don't you all find it interesting that people like this person talking, trying to quote scripture to defend a damn devil? How obtuse is that? Don't you all find it interesting that this person is sitting here trying to defend Diddy, but not giving a damn about the other people that Diddy did dirt to and then telling me I can't punish him. I don't have to punish him. I don't want to punish him. The government's going to do that. So what do I need to try and punish him for? I can't punish anyone. And then when you say I can't judge him, I absolutely can judge him. I can judge whoever I want. Because at the end of the day, though the Bible says, judge not lest ye be judged, the Bible also says, judge righteously. So I'm sorry, if you want to quote the scripture with me, you best to know the whole scripture, not just a few selected portions. Okay, because I know the Bible like the back of my own hand. All right? You see, once upon a time, I was actually an ordained minister. So don't come in here quoting the scripture, telling me the little selected parts that you wanted to paint a narrative with, and then leaving out the others. Okay? Let's not do that. Now, with that all being said, Diddy's going down, and that's just what it is. You can love it or hate it, but it ain't going to stop. That's all I'm saying. Now, let's talk about Mr. Tyler Perry, because, honey, 50 Cent came out and defending Tyler Perry. Now, y'all know I love me some 50 Cent, but 50 Cent, what the hell are you talking about? 50 Cent, what are you talking about? Let's get into it, because I absolutely believe that Tyler Perry has done some things. Now, that's just my opinion. 50 Cent has moved to defend his friend Tyler Perry from claims that he committed sexual assault. Perry has been sued for $260 million by a man named Derek Dixon, who worked as an actor on several TV shows. Now, Dixon claims that Perry subjected him to escalating sexual harassment, assault, and battery, and professional retaliation after he rebuffed the actor and director's alleged advances. Perry, through his attorney, blasted the lawsuit as a shakedown attempt, saying in a statement that this is an individual who got close to Tyler Perry for what now appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam. But Tyler will not be shaken down, and we're confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail. 50 Cent has spoken out in support of Perry, saying on Instagram, "Did that bitch just say what I think he said? Nah, we ain't jacking this ish, gang. No way." In another post, 50 teased Perry about the allegations with a picture of Cat Williams, but reaffirmed that he didn't believe them, saying, Tyler, that case bullshit. Don't worry about it. Tyler, that case is bullshit. Don't worry about it. Worry about this ninja here. He's going to have a field day with this. Ha! He had earlier said, hey, I think anyone who talks bad about Tyler Perry should die. I mean, we all gonna die, but you should die now. 50 is so ridiculous. What is he even talking about? Says big collaboration coming soon. Sprinkle a little Tyler Perry, sprinkle a little 50 and bomb. He put a bomb emoji. Then says boom. You can't beat it. History in the making. He also posted, I think 50's trolling, please pay attention. He also posted a clip of Perry praising 50 where he said, I'm so proud of that man. He's amazing. And he's blowing it up out of the water. I'm super, super proud of him. Now, when Perry was asked if the future held any collaborations between the two of them, he replied, if he wants to, I love that dude. 50 has emulated Perry's movies in recent years, setting up his own film and TV studio facility in Shreveport and rapidly expanding his own production company. Do y'all take 50 serious? Because I don't. Or do y'all think he's trolling as per usual? Okay. Sheila said 50 needs to stop. I think he's trolling, honey. He needs to sit down somewhere, though. That's what he needs to do. Now, with that all being said, hold on. Let me go to this little clip real quick. This is like a 10-second clip that was posted by DJ Envy. I'm going to share my screen. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And if you don't like the commentary, well, you know, sorry you aren't satisfied. Hold on. I'm trying to cue this. Now, Piff said 50 is just bored, okay? Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. What's up, everyone? I think 50 was bored. 50's always doing something, right?
Got the whole world. Anything. Hey, I'm just sitting here on my porch, just looking. What am I looking at? I'm looking at the hills from whence cometh my help. For my help, some of y'all know the rest. I just wanted to come on and just tell everybody, just be as calm as you can. You got the whole world.
Did he just tell us to be as calm as we can? Tyler, beloved, honey, we are calm. Okay? That's what we need you to do, is be calm. All right? Miss Asha said, Medea going to jail. Here's the thing. OT Patrice said 50 Cent need to worry about the allegations his baby mama said about him. Well, I think his baby mama was just mad because he called her out on some BS. I think she made it all up like Michael Jackson said. Darius said, sounds like he's being sarcastic. Probably was laughing when I think he was definitely trolling, okay? I think he was definitely trolling. Panther Strike said, calm, why wouldn't we? Exactly. Now, with that all being said, listen, I don't know if Tyler Perry did what this man has accused him of or not, but I find it interesting because at the end of the day, some of it sounds very reminiscent, as I told you all, of what Christian Keys said about a black billionaire who allegedly sexually harassed and assaulted him. Okay, he never said who that person was, but it all sounds familiar. And the sad thing is, a lot of these people in positions of power will absolutely hold things over people's heads. They will absolutely use their power and positions to get people to do what they want them to do. Sometimes people are desperate. Sometimes people have dreams and aspirations. Sometimes people just need money. Sometimes people just really feel like if they don't do what they're asked to do, that they might end up being blackballed and will never work again, doing something that they love. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm just going to wait and see how this all turns out. But, as far as I can see, I believe that young man. I mean, we saw the text messages. Okay, we saw the text messages. There was clearly some flirtatious things being said and, some things that were a bit inappropriate, especially if you're this person's employer. Okay, this is why you should never, engage in things with people that you work with or for. You should always try to keep it professional. All right, because even if you say something in a joking manner or you don't intend it the way it comes off, well, it can be, taken out of context. Now, I'm not saying that this situation was. I'm just saying that sometimes in certain cases, these things can happen. But as for this whole little scenario, I wouldn't be surprised if more allegations come out against Tyler Perry. Because we already had that situation with Christian Keys. Like I said, he never said it was Tyler Perry. Some of us speculated that's who he was talking about. And now we have this. If what this young man is alleging is in fact true, remember the lawsuit stated that there were other people that this has gone on before. Now, these other people have never come forward. They've never made these allegations, but who's to say that they won't? Because remember, in the case of Diddy and Cassie came out with the allegations, and then right after, a myriad of other people came out with allegations. Now, the question is Tyler Perry going to settle this lawsuit? Is he going to fight it in court? What is he going to do? Will he try to quietly make it go away behind closed doors like what happened with the Christian Keys scenario? I'm not saying Tyler Perry made that go away because I don't even know if Christian Keys was talking about Tyler Perry, but I think that he absolutely was talking about Tyler Perry. But we do know that that whole situation died down and just went away all of a sudden. So will this be the same? I have questions. FBA Justice said Diddy is going to get life in one man RICO. Tyler Ahmadiyyah has to pay. Okay. I have to agree with you, beloved. And thank you for your insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Here's the thing. Do you all think that Diddy deserves a life sentence? Once in the chat, if you think that Diddy deserves a life sentence. Is that what they will in fact give him? I really think that when he's found guilty, that they're going to stick it to him because, for one, they offered him not one but two plea deals, of which he declined both. And they're going to try to make him see that, oh, you should have definitely taken those plea deals. And I think they'll absolutely give him a life sentence. Sadly for him, I feel sorry for his children, specifically his daughters. And poor little Love, she's too young to even know what's going on. With that all being said, jabbering York says, or Jabbar in New York says, yes, he killed Kim Porter. Well, I don't know if he killed Kim Porter. That's all an allegation. But I do think her death was very suspicious. With that all being said, we'll have to wait and see. The trial is nearing its end. We don't have but a few days left. I, for one, will be glad when it's over because, first of all, it's tiring. It's a whole lot of work going to the courtroom on a regular basis, but also anticipation. Okay? There's a whole lot of anticipation as to how this is going to turn out. But I want you all to remember this. When Diddy is found guilty, they're immediately going to file for an appeal. And they have a lot of grounds and basis for that appeal, as I told you a myriad of times. And they possibly could go as far as getting his conviction overturned and getting him another trial, which is exactly what happened to Harvey Weinstein, because Diddy's case mirrors that of Harvey Weinstein's. And I've been telling you all that from day one, specifically with the prior bad acts. OG Patrice says, Queen, did you see the new allegations against one of Tyler Perry's executives? He mentioned Tyler Perry. No, I didn't see that, beloved, but thank you for informing me. I absolutely didn't see that. And when did this come out? You said allegations against Tyler Perry's executive. I hadn't heard a thing about that. Let me see if I can find it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Let me see here. Hold on, people. Okay, we're searching right now. It says reports suggest that Tyler Perry may have been accused of sexual harassment and assault. Okay, that's the one we're already talking about. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't see anything about his executive, beloved. Where did you see that at? All I see is these allegations against Tyler Perry from Derek Dixon. Anyway, if anything else nefarious comes up, I will be reporting on it. Derek said, we appreciate what you do, Queen, because we know it can't be easy going through that day to day with crazy people, bad weather, heat, and overall discomfort. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you for saying that. It absolutely is true. Listen, there is always some drama in that line standing out there in front of that courthouse waiting to get inside. There's people trying to cut in line. There's people lying, saying they paid for lion sitters when they know damn well they didn't, trying to get in front of people, trying to elbow their ways through. There's a whole lot of people just doing the most. There's homeless people, crazy people, people that do illegal substances standing out there just creating chaos and havoc, making threats, wanting to attack people. There's been a myriad of fights and all kinds of things. Police have been called several times. I myself had to file a police report. It is all a whole lot, people. And that's why I greatly appreciate those of you who contribute to the channel, who send cash apps. I really appreciate you because this is a whole lot. Okay, and this is not cheap. It's very costly. So with that all been said, yes, I will absolutely be glad when it's all over so I can get home and lie in my own damn bed. There is literally no place like home. Okay? And so I can get back to doing my lives as per usual, the way that we normally do them. Okay? OG Patrice said you sent it to me. Okay, let me check my text messages, beloved. Thank you. Did you send it to my email or text? Hold on, let me check my email because I don't see it in my text. Hold on, beloveds. I'm trying to get a scoop here. Hold on, what's this? 50 Cent Baby Mama. Hold on. Oh, I can't talk about that. I don't know why somebody posted that and sent it to me. Okay, hold on. OG Patrice, I don't see it. Where did you send it? Send it to my, text it to me, beloved. I don't see anything in the email or text. Yeah, I don't see. I'm about to get out of here. The pen says things happen, unfortunately. A 92-year-old couple got run over. Imagine living that long and getting run over by a carjacker. That's a damn shame. You know, I really hate to hear stuff like that. And absolutely what you said. Imagine living that to get to be that age, and then something like that happens. That is a darn shame. Condolences to their family, friends, and loved ones. That is so awful. I hope they caught the person that did it. Nicole said it can be a one-man RICO case, just prove a criminal enterprise, which is why the witnesses were originally charged as defendants. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I got it, OG Patrice. Thank you, beloved. I absolutely agree. Here's the thing. I already told you guys that the people who were involved and complicit in Diddy's criminal enterprise were all given immunity. They've all flipped on him. Do you all not understand that's why he's in a one RICO? Diddy did this to himself. Don't blame me. I'm just giving the reports. Panther Strike said, Queen, let's give Craig Mack a rest in peace. He went through more than what we know with the diddler. Okay, Craig Mack would have been 54 this past March in 2025. Absolutely. Rest in peace to Craig Mack. You're absolutely right, beloved. You are absolutely right. Okay, so OG Patrice just emailed me the info. Let me pull this up. OG Patrice, you better not be trolling us. You see here. You know I'm joking. Okay, it says Tyler Perry's studio. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. What is really going on with Mr. Perry? Let me see here. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. So it says Tyler Perry studio executive accused of RA. Tyler Perry accused of accessory. Okay, so this looks like a video that someone did. Hold on. This looks like a video that someone did, but where did they get this information? Hold on. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, that's not receipts. I can't use that, beloved. Thank you for sending that to me, but this is just somebody talking about that, and I haven't seen them show a receipt. Okay, I can't be using this. I need to see receipts. Where's the article about it? Because I don't see one. When people just be doing videos saying stuff, honey, I can't go by that. I don't even know if these people know what they're talking about. Okay, I need receipts. I have not heard anything about that. I haven't heard anything about it. Now, I did see something about Tyler Perry. It looked like Tyler Perry had been sued. Hold on. Hold on. Let me hurry up because I got to wrap this up, honey. I got things to do. Queen, listen first, then decide. Honey, I don't have time to sit here and listen to a whole video. Girl, I don't have time to listen to a video while I'm doing a video. I might listen to it later, but I can't sit here and listen to that video right now, or I'm not going to play it right now because I don't even know what that person's going to say. That's all I'm saying, beloved. Okay, so with that all being said, listen. Bottom line is Tyler Perry has been accused. Whether he's an accessory to another situation, we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. If I get some reports about it, I don't see nobody showing no receipts. Like I said, I don't go by what people just say because it's a people on YouTube who just tell damn lies and make up stuff. I'm not saying that person did, but that's what people do. And I can be, I'm not trying to get into all that, honey. Okay? Because people know they be sitting there telling whole damn lies. That's what they do. Period. And I don't have time to be watching other people's video anyway, honey. I basically, if I see some articles about it or hear a news report, that's one thing. I don't have time to sit here and listen to this person's video, honey. I don't even know who this person is. It's 10 minutes long. All right. And I haven't seen the receipt in the first few seconds. So, with that all being said, I absolutely think this young man is telling the truth about Tyler Perry, though. Okay. American Instant said Tyler is making news because Diddy is beating his case. Is that what it is, beloved? That's where you're going with it? Okay. Diddy's not beating this case. I hate to tell you. Listen, Diddy turned around and told his mother himself the other day that it's bad. When they got rid of juror number 6, he turned around and told his mother, Leon said, we don't deal with lies, okay? Diddy turned around and told his own mother that it's bad. This ain't good. So Diddy is he's not hardly beating the case, beloved. I know some of y'all wish you would. Look at Nathan talking about free Diddy. Well, tell that to the government, but I don't think they're going to listen, beloved. Okay? Who in here wants Diddy to be freed? Once in the chat if you want Diddy to go free. Let me see who's crazy. Once in the chat if you want Diddy to go free. Let's see who's crazy in here. Once in the chat, all for Diddy going free. And if he goes free, and then what? How's that going to help y'all? Huh? How's that going to help y'all? I'm sorry, make it make sense. So no justice for the victims? Is that what we're doing? Just damn all the victims? That's what we're going to say? Y'all need to sit down somewhere. Okay? Perfect Blackness says it's going to get overturned on appeal. I already said that. That ain't nothing new. But that doesn't mean he's going to win on the second trial because they darn sure going to try his ass again. And if they do, he'll be guilty again. That's how that's going to turn out. But what I'm not going to do is come all the way back up here to New York for a second trial. Okay? That's what I'm not going to do. So anyway, Nicole said Diddy's going down in this chat alone. Derek said, oh, hell no, he needs an exorcism. That's the same thing Nicole said earlier. He does need one because I think he's full of demons. Okay? I think he's full of demons. Ty's Kitchen said he was still doing dirt after that pathetic apology. Yes, he was. Thank you. That's why we know we can't take him serious. We can't trust the diddler. All right? He came up there and gave that little half-ass apology talking about he was sorry. He was in a dark place. Okay? He hit rock bottom. No, Diddy, you didn't hit rock bottom until now. You're going to really see what rock bottom is when that judge slams down that damn gavel and says guilty, and then you get hit with a life sentence. Then you're going to know the true meaning of rock bottom. Okay? That's when he's going to find out what it really means. And where in the world is the guy named G, who was allegedly shot September the 22nd of 2022 at Chalice Recording Studios when Diddy, the guy named G, and his son Justin Combs allegedly went into that restroom and a gun was fired. And an ambulance came. And people alleged that Diddy told them to lie. Did y'all forget about that? Where is that man? Was he paid off to go somewhere and hide? What happened to him? Y'all don't have any questions about that because I still wonder. Y'all don't think it was suspicious that Diddy told Shakur Stewart he would kill him and then the man turned up dead? But y'all talking about free Diddy? How about free your minds? Okay, because some of you all are mentally enslaved. All right? I think Diddy has some of you under Stockholm Syndrome. Because I don't see how anybody would be sitting up here talking about free Diddy. Okay, whether you disagree with the justice system, the judicial process or not, y'all don't think Diddy deserves to be in prison? Because I absolutely do. Now, the fact that the judicial system is unfair, okay, in its treatment of people who look like me, that is very true in my opinion. But it doesn't negate the fact of Diddy's nefariousness. Okay? It doesn't negate the fact of Diddy's nefariousness. So with that all being said, Lolita said, not for all cases. I agree, beloved. Okay, Jabbar in New York says Sean Combs is guilty. They know Diddy's guilty. I think they're just hanging on to hope like he is, trying to see the bright light at the end of the tunnel. But honey, let me tell you something. There is no bright light at the end of the tunnel for Diddy. When he said he was in a dark place, he's going to be in an even darker place when that gavel comes down, okay, at the end of this trial, period. All right, so anyway, with that all being said, American Instant says, I work in the law and your feelings is not facts. Exactly, facts over feelings. Nobody cares about any of our feelings. And at the end of the day, another thing, let me remind you of, that it doesn't even matter what any of you think. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what the media thinks. It doesn't matter what any blogger thinks. You know where it matters? It only matters what the jurors think, because they're the ones who will determine guilt or innocence Okay, when they go into that room to deliberate, and when they come back with a verdict, it is all in the hands of the juror once the defense has rested and the prosecution has rested. Our opinions are, we're just talking just to talk. But at the end of the day, the jurors will make the final decision. So no matter you're for or against Diddy, it really doesn't matter because we don't get to make the choice. And thank God for it, because if we were going by public opinion, well, some of y'all will be going above and beyond the duty, the call of duty, to try to make sure he gets off. And I just don't understand why. Okay? I don't understand why. Y'all didn't give a damn about Tupac and Biggie. Y'all didn't care about Kim Porter's life. Y'all don't have any empathy and sympathy for the victims. Like, yeah, that's real crazy for me. Nicole said Queen connects the dots before giving her opinion and modify as she studies the cases. Thank you, beloved. I absolutely do. And I appreciate you for your kind words. Okay? Some of these people need to take notes and pay attention. Now, we have some trolls in here, but even though you're trolls, you're still entitled to your opinion. So I'm going to let you live. Okay, now that all been said, everyone please like and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, double check to make sure you're still subscribed, especially if you have not been receiving those notifications. Thank you all for tuning back in after we had the mishap with the previous live. Okay, I appreciate you all for coming back and being patient. Judge Wood said, I would like Diddy in jail for 5 to 10 years, not a freako. Well, you know what, Judge Wood, I agree with you. I agree with you. Maybe a 10-year sentence would suffice, but he does need to get some sort of punishment. He doesn't just deserve to get off and go scot-free. So I will agree with you on that, beloved. On that, we can agree. But when people are saying free Diddy, like he just needs to waltz out of jail and not serve a day after all the BS that he's done, that's absolutely crazy. Okay? That's absolutely crazy and nefarious. And you all, you might want to keep R. Kelly in your prayers because R. Kelly has alleged that they're trying to kill him. An inmate has said that he was asked to kill R. Kelly. R. Kelly claims that he was given an overdose of his medication days ago, ended up in the hospital. He's still alive and kicking. But not only pray for his safety, that they don't take him out, pray for his soul, that he repents for his sins if he hasn't already, and that he can find his way back to the Most High. And while you're at it, try to do the same thing for the diddler, because we all know that he's down there in the pits of hell with Satan himself. And Satan still, in my opinion, has a hold on Diddy. I believe that Diddy needs deliverance. Somebody needs to call the pastor or a preacher, and I'm not talking about TD Snakes. They need to call a real pastor or a preacher and have them go and lay hands on Diddy to pray over him and try to cast out those nefarious demons that he's allowed to control his life, behaviors, and his actions. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I literally think that he is full of demons, and they have controlled his life for a long period of time, specifically when he started dabbling in illegal substances. Because I do know that illegal substances opens you up to demonic possession. Okay, now I don't want to get all into this because I don't want y'all thinking it's conspiracy theories. But at the end of the day, some people need prayer, and they need to get back close to the Most High. Because sometimes when you stray away from the path of righteousness and from God himself, the devil is right there waiting, showing you all sorts of things to tempt you and to pull you in, and then to have you trying to pull other people in. It's a transference of energy. And you, Diddy was having these freak offs. It was just freak offs. It was much more than that. These things were rituals. But some of y'all aren't ready for that discussion. And I told some of you before, when Diddy was telling Cassie and Jane Doe to put the men's bodily fluids on him so he can with it and all that nastiness, you know, that was sex magic. Those were sex rituals. Okay? This was more than just freak offs. These things were sick and filled with debauchery, because that's what they did in the ancient Roman days when they had the bacchanalias. Okay, and I told you all that over a year ago. Okay, so please pay attention, honey. This is a whole lot of sick stuff going on, and the devil is literally in the details. With that being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Each one teach one. That's how we're going to thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got